Hello everybody, this is TryandWeir412 taking a look at the game Normal Game-8, which I played on webdiplomacy.net. I controlled Austria. My original plan was to take my share of the Balkans with Russian help, moving against Turkey, and then stabbing Russia, moving up through a few of his centers until I got this stalemate line established, and then I would move south and west into Italy to take my last few, grabbing my last one from somewhere in there. So we'll see how that worked out for me. My original plan falls apart right at the very beginning because I have trouble with Italy. You see him moving against me right here from the get-go. However, I was lucky enough to have good relations with Turkey, and you see here, while I fight off Italian attacks, I told Turkey to go ahead and move into Greece unhindered. We had discussed in the spring, we're talking about who would get Greece, me or him, and at this point I decided to play nice, and that actually ends up working out very well for me as we move on into the game. So I'm able to build in Trieste, but I build an army rather than a fleet, deciding that having a unit that could support Vienna would be a good idea if Italy continued moving in against me. So you see here in 1902 I am able to really get Italy in a rough position. I have a fleet in the Ionian threatening both Naples and Tunis, which empowers me a great deal diplomatically. I tell him that if he wants to continue to expand towards France, that he should let off on his attack here on the mainland, which he agrees to. And so in the fall, when he moves towards Spain, I actually go ahead and do move into Tunis. Taking that, I needed a center because you see here there's a Russian unit in Budapest. Russia, who was my ally, retreated from Romania into Budapest in the spring, so he ends up taking that center from me. So I break even, and Italy, although he moves into Spain, since he loses Tunis, he also just breaks even here in 02. In 1903, I help Russia against Turkey, who had become my ally in the game, but that was with Turkey's knowledge. Turkey decided to use the army in Romania to take Sevastopol while I helped this army out of my territory. And then you'll see here in the fall I move into the territory and am able to see the Italian attack coming, so that I have a center free to build. You also see down here Italy moving out of Portugal, hoping that I would be moving towards Spain and we would stand off. Instead, I hold and he doesn't gain the second build. So that worked out fairly well for me as well. At the beginning of the next year, you see Turkey, my ally, moving into Tunis. Here, really messing with Italy. He moves to Portugal, but I follow him in. So now I have a unit in Spain. But we decide to play nice with one another. He takes Trieste here in the fall with my blessing. You see England expanding quite a bit through here. This was a winner-takes-all game. England's expanding rapidly because France dropped out in 01 and Germany dropped out in 03. So at this point, Turkey and myself and Italy are trying to band together so that we are able to stop England from taking the solo victory and hence all the points. We attempt that here in 05. You see Germany starts submitting moves again, and so we quickly recruit him to our cause to attack England, and Turkey and I agree to leave him alone. But you see here Italy moves a unit up into Tyrolia, and then in the fall attacks Germany against his two allies, Austria, myself, and Turkey, against our wishes. So we really see Italy becoming more of a problem than anything else. We attempt in 06 a quick kill You could almost call it a diplomatic kill. We tried to convince him to move out of some of his territories so we could just walk in, but that does not work, and he actually ends up taking another center up here in Berlin. Instead, we force him out of Tunis. We stop supporting him in Portugal and set ourselves up so that in the spring of '07 we can swoop in, help Germany take his centers back. I take Venice and Rome, and that is the end of Italy. So Italy dies actually before France, who's been in civil disorder since 1901. So that's a little embarrassing, but he was kind of a jerk, and so whatever. Really, at this point, the game gets a little dull. Turkey and I do move against Germany. We feel we've gotten in a position that we really don't need his help anymore, so we take his centers out and attempt to get in a position where we can stop England's expansion. But long story short, that is really not possible. You see, in 1912, Germany will have been destroyed, and I'm just going to fast forward from here right to 1913 in the spring. Actually, let me back up one. It'll be easier to look at. We've taken out Germany's centers. We've taken most of England's centers on the mainland, but still there is no way that we're going to be able to push through the stalemate here. You see we have 3 units that could get into mid-Atlantic, but he can support with any number. We'd never be able to get through Denmark without support in the water, which we can't build. And here also 2 units that could be brought to bear against St. Petersburg, and he can support from Finland. So we can't break through his stalemate in any of those 3 positions. And he realizes that we're too strong for him to make progress against, so we call it a draw, 3-way, 12 or 13 years into the conflict. So I was really happy with the way things turned out. After an Italian attack in the very first year, I only got 1 unit. My strategy for the game as a whole was shot, but I do end up the game with more centers than anyone else, 14 to the other player's 10, and was happy to take the draw and to take the points. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them, and thanks for watching.